I want to do a little video about things that I essentially don't have compassion for anymore. I know we're living in a world where people lack humanity, or I think a lot of people show false compassion. The woke virus, as they say, it's just kind of this fake, like, look at me. I'm so compassionate towards people when in reality they don't care. Um, and I try to be a very understanding and not very judgmental person. However, with that being said, there are just some things I just have no tolerance or compassion for anymore at all. So I think I'm going to do a little series, just a few videos here and there of things that you're never going to get compassion out of me no matter how you argue it. And this is kind of coming up because I just saw some more news articles about the Luigi Mangione guy who executed the United Healthcare CEO. Now, once again, I know there's some conspiracy stuff around it. I'm not going to dive into the conspiracies and what really happened and all that, but I'm just going to take it at face value. This kid went and shot him in the back over, the healthcare system and what United Healthcare was doing and all that. And lately, I've seen videos from like your conservative Republicans and stuff. PragerU did something where they were doing a man on the street about him, and all these people were talking about how they liked him and stuff. And, in the comments, people are talking about how, well, this guy's a coward and he murdered a man who had a family and wife and children. And you know what? That's true. Yeah, he did shoot him in the back. But you know what? Is the guy that was the CEO any less of a coward by sitting in his office and denying people's claims that genuinely needed it on premiums, healthcare premiums that they had been paying into? I mean, this is one of the hypocrisies of the conservative right. I've pointed it out in previous videos. I promise you, if that healthcare CEO was Fauci, we'd be getting a whole different tune from the Republicans. When it's government, it's bad. When it's corporations, it's not so bad, even though it's the same exact thing. And this is also coming from personal experience. My wife and I used to have United Healthcare years ago, and we had to drop them because they literally denied everything. I mean, everything my wife would go in for, probably 90% of it was denied, and we didn't even use it that much. We used it for a lot of basic stuff. We were not in the hospital very often. We were not in urgent care very often. We're a overall healthy family, so we were barely using it. And even when we used it, we would get stuff denied constantly, or they wouldn't pay the amount, the 80% or whatever, and they'd leave us with the bill, with the vast share of the bill. And I'm talking sometimes minor bills, $300-400 bills that we should have paid a $50 copay on, and they were refusing to pay them. So you're just not going to get compassion out of me on this. You will never see me say, oh, that was a human being who had a family and stuff. Well, so are the hundreds of thousands of people who are having their claims denied constantly, who genuinely need it. There's thousands of people every day that probably need those claims approved, and they're getting denied. And I promise you this, his family's doing a lot better off without him than some of the families who have had their health care denied and ended up losing a loved one, or not being able to pay those medical bills and it bankrupted them, or they just had to let it all go and it financially hurt them. So it's the hypocrisy of the conservative rights and the conservative right and the Republicans. I'm sure they'd be out there saying, "Oh, murder." If it was Fauci, they'd be like, "Murder's not right." But if Fauci wasn't such a tyrant, this wouldn't have happened. Well, if this asshole wasn't such a tyrant, it wouldn't have happened. And like I've said before, I understand there is fraud within the healthcare industry, and they need to do that, and they need to take care of it. But the claim denial rate that these insurance companies have, particularly like United, does not match the level of fraud. There's not that much fraud going on. So you could try and say how evil this kid was for shooting him and all that stuff. Never get a single solitary tear will ever be shed by me over this healthcare CEO. I will not care. I don't care that he had a family. This guy never cared about the other families that paid in their premiums as they denied it, even if it was a basic bill. Could have been something small, but it could have cost the family $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 that they just didn't have at the time. So, no tears here. And I think I'm going to do more videos on the handful of things I just don't have compassion for anymore. And you'll never get compassion out of me for it. And that is definitely one of them. The healthcare system and the way it is in America is absolutely broken. And the hypocrisy of the Republicans and the conservatives is that corporations can control your life and that's good, but government controls your life and that's bad. Well, I think either one of them controlling my life is bad. So, anyways, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. And until the next video, like, subscribe. Thanks. Share. Have a good one.